On the markets this morning, Reading, sorry, we'll get to the opening bell shortly, but right now let's bring in Mike Lee. Mike, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, both reported this morning. Solid reports from both. I'd call that a good start to the earnings season. What say you?
Yeah, Stuart, I'm not as rosy on the earnings from both these organizations as you are. So with Bank of America, basically you have a huge net interest income beat, and that's because they can pay their depositors zero, park that money at the Fed and get over 5%, and that's what's driving their earnings. And I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world, but their non-performing loans are up 17% quarter over quarter, and their loss provisions, they rose by a third. It's still a relatively small number, but the big disaster there is their held-to-maturity portfolio, $131 billion of losses in the held-to-maturity portfolio.
Okay, I'll dial down my support and enthusiasm a couple of notches. Okay, the recession appears to be delayed. Very strong retail sales numbers this morning. A delayed recession, right?
Yeah, look, completely contrary to all the card spending data we're seeing out there. And so this was a big pop this month, a lot of online e-commerce. We'll see, how these revisions come out, but a lot of other numbers were revised up. So way out of consensus right there, and it looks like the student loan repayments is only going to come into account for the October numbers, which we'll see in November, but a very shocking number to the upside, which blew out the 10-year Treasury, which is why we're seeing red on the screen all over.
You got that right. Red on the screen from the U.S. Treasury securities. All right, Mike Lee, thanks very much. The opening bell is coming up, and we're going to take it to Wall Street. We've got about, 30 seconds to go before we open this market. Here's the backdrop. President Biden is going to Israel. He arrives tomorrow. That's a